it's probably something very relatable that I'm going to say, but like dating apps, I think really damage my mental health. Well, I think it's no surprise for anyone that like the dating apps is not something very healthy. Like I don't see anything that makes it healthy in many ways. The thing is, you seeing some people around you having success with it, and you think that maybe that'll be the case for you, but you forgot that you're not exactly like the average person, and then you give it a try, and that's where the trouble starts. So my experience with dating apps is pretty bad. I think most average guy would relate to it. It all starts with like you being very optimistic about it. So I've tried it before. It's not my first time, but like you be like, oh, maybe this time is gonna be different. Like I'm actually gonna get something out of it. But you don't. It's always the same cycle. You get onto it, you're very excited the first couple days, and then when you feel like there's no result coming, it gets increasingly frustrating, and that's exactly what's happening every time. Why do I keep trying dating apps if it's just damaging my mental health? And you'd be asking, how is it damaging your mental health? Well, it's a lot of mental space that is taking you because I don't know, as in a personal experience, it takes me a lot of time to go through dating apps. Like maybe I go through dating apps like an hour a day, which is a lot, especially when I just started them. And you go through like hundreds of profiles, hundreds, and you try to like them, and then you get no result, and it's very frustrating, and it kind of hurts your ego. And you shouldn't be starting so like dating app as a way of boosting your ego, but you just it's always a nice bonus to have, but like when you're just an average person, it's the harsh reality. You're not getting any likes, you're not getting any dates, and eventually you start to think, what is wrong with me? uh, am I just not worth, like am I just nothing? And you shouldn't be seeing that way. It's not your fault. It's just the way like dating apps are made. They are there to try to hook you up, and like they try to keep you on the app and then give you some hope that you get some love. That's the exact way they attract you with the marketing, but in reality it's not gonna happen. It's not really entirely your fault. It has nothing to do with you doing anything wrong or being someone that's less interesting than others, but it makes you feel that way because the lack of results makes you feel like maybe you are nothing special and people are not interested in you. And you, even the very few dates you have, you try to put efforts into it, and then you don't get anything out of it. And it's the repeated cycle of like scrolling, and it's like doom scrolling. You doom scroll for an hour on those dating apps, and you're getting overstimulated because you're seeing those hundreds of profiles every day, and it's just putting you so much mental space because you're looking, and the more you look, the more everyone's starting to look the same, and everyone starts to look the same. It gets boring, and everything is hard to handle, and eventually you get bored of just being on dating apps. The thing is, this time I try to push it a bit harder because people told me maybe you need to give it a more push, but I just can't. It's too frustrating in many ways, and I try to be detached from it, but I just can't be. I can't manage to detach from it. It's just frustrating me, and also it's just destroying my mental health because I'm seeing hundreds of profiles a day, and I don't think my brain is meant for that. I don't think I'm meant to see this many people, and eventually my brain start to make patterns, and like everyone start to look the same, and I just get frustrated because everyone start to look boring, and then it can even like bleed on my actual real life interactions where I feel like I don't want to do any effort with anyone because everyone feels so bland. So that's the reason why I don't think I'm gonna keep being on dating apps. The problem is I always drawn to be in a relationship, and I don't know why. It keeps being something in my mind I really want, and I shouldn't be chasing for it. I know it's not the right way of doing it. You can't just force something to happen, because if you force it, probably it's just gonna end up bad. And that's I've learned it the hard way many times in the past. But yeah, I just wanted to open it about how dating app sucks, and how it is something that I probably a lot of people experience on dating apps. And the problem is you have those like survivor like bias where people actually found the love in their life in there, but I think it's just a minority. But when you see those people, it just gives you hope for some reason. You don't really understand why, but you feel like, oh yeah, you know what, maybe if they got lucky, I got lucky. But your case is not the same as everyone else, and you comparing majority to minority, and you're falling into that deep hole of very boring dating apps. So yeah.